Hello, everybody. I am Cody, and as always, this is Let's Talk About Scents. Today, we are going to be talking about none other than Cinematic Infusions. Cinematic Infusions began in 2020, created by a Mr. David Bowe. The origins, however, are rooted much earlier when David was 6. When David was 6, he moved to the U.S., allowing the silver screen of cinema to be his guide in understanding culture and language. On David's 13th birthday, he fully discovered his love and passion for fragrance with a bottle of Chrome Azzaro. There is much more detail to this story than what I have given you, but I hope I have intrigued your thoughts. I will leave the link to the website of Cinematic Infusions in the description below. As always, it is a great read to see exactly where this wonderful creation that I am about to share with you came from. So be sure to check that out. Guys, what I have in front of me is Cinematic Infusions Willy Wonka Trilogy. David is specializing in creating trilogy sets of fragrance, and this one that I have in my hands is revolved around the Willy Wonka movie. We all know it. If you do not know it, it is a very lavish, extravagant man that has grown up from a young child and owns a factory filled with chocolate and candy and oompa loompas that run around as the gears and the inner lining and basically help him run this factory filled with chocolate waterfalls and everlasting gobstoppers and just the most mythical, just fairy-filled, imaginative candy world that would be any kid or adult's dream to be a part of and live in. This right here is as close as you can get to living out that fantasy, I promise you. So, up first, out of these three fragrances, we have Wonka, Everlasting, and Absinthe. So, up first, we are going to talk about none other than Wonka himself. Wonka. In this fragrance, we have notes of pineapple, bergamot, cotton candy, caramel, almonds, praline, coconut, white chocolate, dark chocolate, vanilla, tonka bean, and ambroxan. Immediately in this fragrance, off the opening, get a very tart, citrus, and a very nutty opening. You get a lot of tart citrusiness from that pineapple, the bergamot. It is more of the rind of the fruit, so not a juicy sweetness. It's very tart, very citrus. There's nuttiness in the background, almost like a fresh almond, fresh praline. Has a little bit of sweetness that starts coming through. The tartness is kind of dissipating on it. The caramel comes through. Then a ton of this very sweet, rich chocolate starts emerging on your skin. You have an earthiness. It's a very rich, earthy chocolate, like naturally from the source. Not an overly sweet, not like you bit into a candy bar. A very earthy, rich chocolate. You get some sweetness from that ambroxan coming through, which is literally holding all of this fragrance together. Melds and blends this sweet, rich, earthy, natural, punch in the face chocolate. Super, super great fragrance. And I am talking 10 to 14 hours that I can smell this radiating off my skin. Super, super long lasting. And that is going to be with all of these fragrances. The creator of these fragrances, the nose behind it, is going to be Maximiliano Cifuentes. So these are all out of Chile. Absolutely phenomenal. Don't know what the magic is behind these, but I would not expect it with none other than it being revolved around Wonka, and how all of these luscious chocolates and goods were supposed to be long-lasting and beyond the limits of what other candies and other syrupy, sweet goodness was. So these have nailed it with the imagination and with what you really feel like that chocolate would have been. It's the most long-lasting chocolate I've ever smelt in my entire life. So this is excellent. I advise everybody to try out this set. It is so mind-blowing how they have captured this, and I love everything about it. So I need to tell a big thank you in the middle of this to David Bowe and Max. All of you, all that is behind this, just phenomenal. So well done. Love everything about this. All right, enough rambling. Up next is going to be Absinthe. The fizzy, fairy-filled alcoholic drink, sparkly, bubbly. Now, let's find a fresh patch here. Love this fragrance right here. This is tied between Everlasting as my favorite out of the bunch. I love, from the opening to the dry down of this fragrance, it is unlike anything I've ever put my nose on. We have lavender, bitter orange, fruits, patchouli, water jasmine, black licorice, cedar, leather, oak moss, sandalwood, vanilla, white musk. Right off the bat, opening of this, you're going to get a very fresh, green, tart from the lavender, bitter orange, fruits, and the patchouli. There is a very fresh, green, tart, almost astringent note from it. It has like this astringency, almost a little bit like a mint mouthwash. Just a little bit. It's not much. It fades very quickly, and then you are going to experience this very prominent anise note, which is going to be that black licorice. Anise smells just like licorice, so a lot of that coming through. This kind of booziness starts bubbling behind it. But it's that anise, that astringent, fresh green, tart, mint rind, very bright, has a sparkly fizziness to it. Everything from that point still has this fresh cleanliness to it with that mint layered in the background. Beautiful thing about this one is when it starts to dry down, it is rounded with the sweetness, this sweet creaminess from the sandalwood and vanilla that starts coming through, and then musk and booze, all packed into just one thing, just melding, just bouncing back and forth off one another, all around this buzzy, like this fizzy, bubbly, musky, boozy, sweet, minty fragrance. It is so enjoyable. This in the springtime, unfortunately, I had it here in the fall with the leaves and everything changing. A lot of aromas going on. Springtime, this fragrance would be a powerhouse. It would radiate with some heat, and this coming off of your skin, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous fragrance. So keep that in mind. I love it. The Wonka is like perfect transition fall, winter time, that very rich, earthy chocolate. Super great. This one, fresh, cleanly, mint, bright, fizzy, bubbly, boozy musk. So great. Love this fragrance. Like I said, unlike anything I've ever had. Fantastic. Love, love, love it. Now, last but not least, and it will be everlasting, is Everlasting. This fragrance right here. Get your nose on it. That's all I'm going to say. Get your nose on it. Oh, wow, man. That opening note. This fragrance makes you happy. It bursts out joy. Notes: bubblegum, cotton candy, caramel, jasmine, plum, morello cherry, Turkish rose, benzoin, cedar, cinnamon, clove, patchouli, balsam of Peru, sandalwood, tonka bean, vanilla, vetiver, and birthday cake. Sweetness in a bottle. Sweet joy in a bottle. Opening, like I said, very sweet. You get the bubblegum note, but it's not bubblicious bubblegum. It is this kind of pink, slight mint bubblegum, but it's that very pink mint bubblegum. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's bubblegum. You get sweetness from that cotton candy note, sweetness from the caramel. But then for me, I get a very sticky honey-like sweetness, and I'm going to imagine that it's coming from that Turkish rose. So you get this kind of honey floral note that starts coming through. A lot of juiciness from the plum and the morello cherry. So juicy, honey, so nice. That bubblegum kind of going away, and then you just got this sweetness, this juicy sweet honey. And then I get a sweet balsamic kind of note as well. There's a lot of sweetness, and it counterbalances so well with one another. But there's different layers of sweetness. It's not just this jumbled mess of just, oh, it's just a sweet fragrance and that's all it is. It's sweet. No, there is different layers of sweetness, as if you were going through different layers of a very sweet candy and experiencing different flavors of sweetness. So you start with the sweet bubblegum, and then you hit this juicy, sweet, fruity notes of plum and cherry, and then you have this sweet honey note of Turkish rose, and then this sweet balsamic note from balsam of Peru and sandalwood. You have this creamy layer to it, and it's so nice. And even in, like I said, the sandalwood, there is a soft balsamic richness to it. It's so great. And then all rounded out, it has a tinge of this kind of dry earthiness in the background. Very, very light. Just kind of lingers back there just to tone that sweetness down just a little bit. And the cedar, the clove, the patchouli in it, just enough rounded in the background to where it's counterbalancing that sweetness, to where it's not just overly sweet, but you're riding through these juicy, delicious, fresh layers of bite. Just this fresh layer of candy. So great. Cannot wait for more and more people to get their nose on these and to share their experiences, because this has been one of the most unique, creative, and enjoyable pieces of art that I have ever had the pleasure of experiencing. And I thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part of this. This is fantastic. Guys, if you like anything that you heard in this, that's going to do it for all these. Projection, longevity, everything is above what you're used to with these fragrances right here. So do not worry about that. They're going to last forever on your skin. You are going to turn heads and grab compliments and receive so many questions wearing any of these from the trio. 30 milliliter bottle is only going to run you $119, and the artwork and the full aesthetic behind these is worth every penny of that. Sample set comes with the little trio right there. You can get the entire set of this together for, I think it's a little more than $200. Like, you can't go wrong getting this. Go and show the guys over at Cinematic Infusions. Go and show them some love. And I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with next. I'm really hoping and praying and crossing my fingers for a Back to the Future trilogy set. So, please. Guys, that's going to do it all. This is Cody with Let's Talk About Scents. This has been Cinematic Infusions. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on your bell notification. We have tons more coming. And we thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. You all have a great day.